Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 11. Okay, really it's a very important playlist, you see, and let's revise what we studied earlier. Okay, so we talked about present simple, that we use subject plus verb. For example, I go to China, I go to Spain, I go to England, but we use the with the United States and United Kingdom. I go, yeah, and don't forget to say to, I go to the United States, or I go to United Kingdom. Okay? Okay, we also talked about I want something. For example, I want this thing, but I want to do something. I want to buy this thing. So if you have two verbs with want, so you put to in the middle between these two verbs. She wants to speak English fluently. Yeah, so we add s if it's he, she, it, but we can meet sentences like this one. For example, my friend wants to translate this text. So my friend means he or she. That's why we use wants. So want with s, wants. Okay? I want a cup of tea. So you can say I want or I'd like. It's more polite. I'd like a cup of tea. I'd like to drink a cup of tea or coffee. So if you have a verb, you also put to before this verb. I'd like to drink a cup of tea, or I'd like to drink a cup of coffee. She'd like to visit this place. They'd like to order it online. Good. Very good. Next. Okay, if you want to make a negative form, use don't or doesn't with a verb. So you see I, we, you, they, don't plus verb, and he, she, it, doesn't plus verb. For example, I don't understand. It doesn't seem interesting. This idea doesn't seem interesting. My parents don't want to sell this house and need to plus verb. So I need your help, but I need to check it. So we use to before a verb. I need to check it. I need to do it again. She needs to go shopping. My cousin needs to see it. She often calls us. Okay, let's have practice with these pronouns. Yes, us, you, and so on. So she often calls us. She often calls you. She often calls him. She often calls her. She often calls them. She often calls me. Yeah? Don't forget that you need to choose the right pronoun. I know the students often make lots of mistakes connected with this thing. Okay? And also keep in mind that you need to use articles. At least sometimes. She has a car. So if it's a noun and one, so we usually use an article, a or an. She has a car. She has a good car. A plus adjective plus noun. He has a big house. I need your help. I really need your help. I'd like to hear this story. I want to listen to this song. We say listen to. My brother wants to try to do it. He wants to learn English, to communicate with people from other countries. I also like it. We put also in the middle, and I like it too. We put to in the end. I need to know all the information, all the news, so we normally say all the information, all the news with them. I need to know everything. Okay. My father does business. So we say do business. My sister really likes it. Don't forget to add s. She often washes up the dishes. So we mostly meet this phrase, wash up the dishes. My sister often flies to the United States. Yeah, we say fly to the United States, go to the United States, and so on. He reads a lot. It means that he spends lots of time on it. And he doesn't read much. So we often use a lot in a statement and much in negative sentences. I know a lot. I don't know much about this problem. My brother has, you can also, meet many, a lot of, or lots of. For example, my brother has many friends, a lot of friends, or lots of friends. So, that lots of is more informal. It often happens. Okay, and I prepared more sentences for practice, for English grammar practice, English listening practice, and also English speaking practice, okay? So I see you'd like to live here. My brother wants to study in another place. My aunt wants to sell her house. I don't learn English there. I prefer to learn English here. She doesn't teach English. She teaches maths or mathematics. I'd like to read a book in English. Okay, my brother would like to try to do it. I'd like to eat fish. We'd like to play football. Yeah, please try to understand these sentences. I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to tell you everything. I'd like to work more. I'd like to fly to New York. She'd like to learn English here, or in this place. My brother wants to try to do it. I'd like to get more money. I don't watch your channel every day. We'd like to invite you to the party. I'd like to have my own business. I want to do it now, but very well. My sister wants to buy this dress. I'd like to thank you. I'd like to hear this story. I'd like to eat meat. I'd like to watch your channel every day. I don't go to school, I go to university. I'd like to drink a cup of tea. I don't buy any newspapers or magazines. I read them online. We'd like to learn English here. She doesn't say it. She works a lot. She wants to work less. I don't live in Moscow. I live in New York. He goes to work by car. I'd like to go to the party. I'd like to become a manager. I don't live in England. They'd like to call us. I want to help you. I'd like to thank you for your help, support, or everything. I'd like to talk to you right now. My friend wants to study in another place. My friends don't order it online. They buy it here. I'd like to live in another country. I want to learn English. I don't go to work. I don't work. I stay at home. I'd like to live abroad. My boss doesn't want to do it. It doesn't help me. I want to read this book. I want to live abroad. I don't go to work every day. I work from home. I'd like to talk about this problem. I'd really like to thank you. I'd like to drink a cup of tea. I don't go to university. I go to work. I don't understand native speakers. My teacher doesn't like those lessons. He likes these lessons. My sister goes to school on foot. My sister walks to school. Next. I want to call him. Thanks, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. My sister would like to teach English. I want to help my friend. We want to know all the information. She doesn't watch that channel. She watches this channel. My sister goes to school by car. I'd like to be a manager. I'd like to speak English very well. He doesn't eat little. He eats a lot. I want to have a car. My sister would like to buy this dress. She wants to know all the information. He'd like to get this job. I want to buy this thing. I like it. That lesson doesn't help. This lesson helps. All your lessons really help. I don't play tennis. She plays it. She doesn't visit him. She works hard. She doesn't have free time. I want to go to Italy next year. My brother doesn't want to do this thing. I'd like to be a teacher. My sister also wants to teach English. They want to call me. I want to have a flat. It doesn't interest me. I'd like to have more free time. I want to visit that place one more time. I'd like to listen to the sun. We want to know all the information. My brother doesn't understand me. My relative wants to play this game. We usually play different games. We want to thank you. My friend doesn't go to school on foot. Or my friend doesn't walk to school. We want to have our own business. She doesn't like that channel. She likes this channel. I don't eat meat, but I eat fish. You don't understand it. I'd like to listen to it. I want to visit this place. I'd like to learn English. Very hard. She wants to work more. I want to work less. I'd like to hear this story right now. I'd like to drink a glass of water. Her relative wants to rent a flat. My uncle doesn't want to call her. I'd like to visit that place. I'd like to go to that restaurant. We'd like to go to the party. I'd like to know English very well. I'd like to hear all the story. I want a cup of coffee. I think I'd like to work more. I want to go to America next month. We'd like to talk to you. She'd like to become an English teacher. I want to see it. We want to see this thing. My relative wants to study abroad. I'd like to order it. I want to have a house. I'd like to translate this word. We'd like to translate this phrase. I don't speak English fluently. I try to learn it. Your cousin doesn't want to do it right now. He wants to do it later. Okay, so really, I think it's a good idea that we decided to continue this playlist, English Grammar from Zero. And I think you can, listen to these videos too. If you don't have free time, no problem. When you do other things, it's also okay. Okay, thank you, my friends. Thank you very much. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally. And let's continue this very important playlist, English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 12. Okay? Really, let's remember what we studied earlier and we'll have more practice. Okay? Good. You know that I can say, that we go ahead slowly but very effectively, so it's often so. Okay, let's remember this structure. So you can say you'd like to plus verb. For example, I see you'd like to live here, and want to plus verb. For example, my brother wants to study in another place. My aunt wants to sell her house. I prefer to learn English here. She teaches maths, she teaches mathematics. We add as. I'd like to read a book in English. And also pay attention to articles and prepositions. Articles and prepositions is really very important. My brother would like to try to do it. Two, it's okay, yeah. We see it two times, but it's okay. I'd like to talk to you. So we can say talk to, talk with. Is, like speak to, speak with. It's the same. So all these things are correct. And I'd like to talk about politics, about this problem. And don't confuse talk with such verbs as say and tell. I'd like to say it. I'd like to say your lessons really help. I'd like to tell you your lessons help me a lot. I'd like to tell you everything. I'd like to fly to New York. We'd like to invite you to the party. I'd like to have my own business. Okay? So, I'd like to hear this story. I'd like to listen to this song. We say listen to. I don't buy any newspapers or magazines. I read them online. You know that normally we use any in negative sentences and questions. She works a lot. Yeah, we know that we mostly use a lot in statements, but much or many in negative sentences. Like, like this one. She doesn't work much and she works too much. This sentence has a negative meaning. Too much. I'd like to live in another country, or I like to study in another country or abroad. Yeah, you can say it in one word. My friend wants to study in another place. So we use another with one thing and, one thing or person, and other with more than one thing or person. So, next, thank you, thanks. We can say thank you, thanks, thank you very much, thanks a lot. And I want to call, please pay attention to these pronouns, him, her, them, and so on. They want to call me, us. And also, we have to look at this thing too. We want to know all the information, all the information, all the news, all the facts, and so on. I want to have a flat. I want to have a house. It doesn't interest me. So you know that interesting is an adjective, but interest can be a verb, like here, and if it's a verb, we need to use don't or doesn't, and we use, doesn't with it. It doesn't interest me. Good. So you know that we usually play different games, play something without, without any prepositions. I'd like to drink a glass of water, a glass of juice, and so on. Your relative wants to rent a flat. She'd like to become an English teacher, or she'd like to be an English teacher. I'd like to go to this restaurant or to that restaurant. So I usually use this if it's near and that if it's far. We'd like to go to the party. Please remember this structure. Go to the party, go to the cinema, go to the theater. We'd like to go to the park. But we say, remember these phrases. We go to school, we go to work. Okay, so as you remember that we had actually wonderful examples. For more practice, let's continue this list of examples. This kind of revision, and then you'll have actually new topics in the next videos. Okay, good. So, I want to drink a cup of tea. We don't know it. His secretary wants a new job. They want to help me. You need more rest. I'd like to buy this beautiful dress. We need more exercises. My brother would like to play this game. I want to help you. I'd like to call her. I'd like to do it right now. I'd like to translate this word. I'd like to go to America next month. I'd like to study there. My brother doesn't want to do that homework. I want to play computer games. I need to watch these lessons. They'd like to study in the United States. I want to know it too, or I also want to know it. I need to check it. My uncle wants to sell his flat. She doesn't tell us everything. I want to buy a house. I'd like to know it right now. My friend doesn't talk to her. Very good words. I'd like to call them. My friends, I really want to thank you. I'd like to be a businessman. I need to train every day. I need to find it. I'd like to speak English fluently. I don't want to do it again. We want to play football. Your relative wants to rent a flat. I'd like to buy a house. I need to visit her. I watch this channel every day. She wants to know all the information right now. I need to call him. I don't like this place. I like another place. His secretary would like to get a new job. Next, I need to translate this text. I'd like to study there. My friend doesn't go to work on foot. They want to call me. She needs more practice. My friend needs to learn English. My friend doesn't go to concerts. He doesn't like it. I'd like to understand English speech. I need to say it. I need to study more. I want to call them. I want to drink. I'd like to write it down. I'd like to go to this party. I'd like to talk to you about this problem. She needs to go to China. We'd like to listen to music. I don't want to do it right now. I want to do it later. You see, he doesn't understand you. I don't see him. We don't work there. I also need to know it. I want to speak English fluently. I want to study in the United States. I don't do physical exercises at home. I go to the gym. I need to go to America. I need to try it. I'd like to study in this place. I'd like to go, we say I'd like to go to the restaurant. We talked about it. She'd like to study English here. She works little. I'd like to know all the news. I need to go to another place. I want to get more money. I'd like to read this book. She doesn't think so. She wants to know everything. We want to know all the information. We want to learn English with you. I need to go to work. I want to order it. I need to remember it. I need to tell you about this problem. I don't know much about politics. My parents need to work more. I really want to thank you for your support. I'd like to have a car. I'd like to know it. I'd like to say it. I need to read these books. This idea doesn't seem interesting. I'd like to study in that place. My sister doesn't want to study abroad, but I want it. I don't play computer games all day. I like sport, You need to remember that we say all day, all night without that. All day, all night. Please pay attention to these very important phrases, okay? I need to save this document. My brother doesn't know it, but I know it. I'd like to help my friend. I need to watch your English lessons. I'd like to work less to have more free time. I want to get more money, and he also wants it. She would like to sell her house. I'd like to read a book. She doesn't like her job. She wants to find another job. I need to watch that movie. Okay? Very good. I mean that really. It's a very good idea that we decided to continue this playlist, English Grammar from Zero. Okay, and I prepared more interesting words, phrases, and grammar structures especially for you. Okay, thank you very much, my friends. Thank you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally. And we continue this playlist, English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 13. Okay, really, it's a very important playlist. Okay, and let's revise some knowledge, yeah, about grammar. Okay, so we say, I'd like, not I'd like go to the restaurant, but I'd like to go to the restaurant. I think you remember I'd like to plus verb. Yeah, I'd like to do it. I'd like to go there. I'd like to see it. I'd like to go to the restaurant. Yeah, please don't forget to use to. Okay, I want to drink a cup of tea. Yeah, also, you know, you need to remember about articles. You also need to remember about articles. A cup of tea, a cup of coffee. You need more rest, or you need to relax more. Yeah, we say have a rest or relax. Okay, my brother would like to play this game, so we put to and play something without play in or no. Play this game. Okay, more examples. I'd like to study there. Student, I study at school. So you know that we often use study if it's about school, university, English courses, yeah, maybe a formal organization. I study at school, at university, English courses, yeah. I learn English by myself. I learn English here. So if you learn English by yourself, yeah, or I mean that we mostly use learn, yeah. I think that you understand this difference. I learn English here. I want to know it too, so you put to at the end of the sentence. As for also, you put it in the middle of the sentence. I also want to know it. She doesn't tell us everything, so tell us, yeah, tell us everything. Everything if it's one word, but we use all the something, yeah, all the information, all the news, all the story. Okay, I'd like to be a businessman. I'd like to be a businesswoman. Okay, I need to train every day. I need to find it. So need plus to plus verb. Good. Next, I don't like this place. I don't like that place. So this place, yeah, which is near, and that place which is far. I don't like these places, so more than one, and I don't like those places which aren't near, which are far. I like another place. Another means one, and I like other places. It means more than one. I want to communicate with people from other countries, not just from one country, but from different countries, so other countries. My friend doesn't go to concerts. And I'd like to write it down. Yeah, if you want to remember something, if you don't want to forget it, you can say, okay, I'd like to write it down. No problem. Okay, this idea doesn't seem interesting. So you need to look at the subject. So this idea means it, so we use doesn't. This idea doesn't seem interesting. I need to save this document, or I need to save this file. Okay, I'd like to work less, to have more free time. It means that it's your aim. Okay, so if you work less, you'll have more free time. So you say, I'd like to work less to have more free time, yeah, so that you have more free time. I'd like to have my own YouTube channel. So you can say my own business, house, flat, or apartment. Okay, so as you remember, we had different examples, yeah, about actually the grammar we studied, but I think it's very important to have more practice. So no problem. Let's look at some more sentences, yeah, which are full of useful grammar. So as you see, I need this information. I'd like to buy this thing. I want a cup of tea. My brother doesn't get up early. He gets up late. I need to see him. He needs to do more physical exercises. I'd like to have my own business. I want to go to the cinema. I need to watch this lesson one more time. Thanks, thank you. It often happens. I'd like to tell you everything. They want to call us. I'd like to go to this restaurant. I'd like to drink a glass of juice. I need to go to the gym. His secretary wants to find a new job. I want coffee. I see. I need to relax more, or I need to have more rest. We need to visit him. I want to buy this beautiful dress. My parents don't want to buy this thing. I'd like to translate these sentences. I want to drink coffee. I'd like a cup of coffee. I want to drink a glass of water. I also want to thank you. I don't talk to him. We don't like these lessons or those lessons. We like these lessons. I'd like to fly to New York. My boss wants more money. I'd like to work less. My sister doesn't listen to him. She listens to her. My brother needs to go there. I'd like to do it one more time. I'd like to do it again. It doesn't cost much. I need to understand it right now. I'd like to hear all the story. My brother doesn't watch football on TV. My girlfriend doesn't live there. She lives here. We want to thank you. I want to call her. I'd like to translate this phrase. My friends need to buy this thing. I'd like to learn English. My sister wants to play different games. I want tea. I don't like this song. I like that song. I'd like to do it again. Our relative wants to rent a flat. I'd like to buy a new computer. I'd like to order it. I'd like to do it one more time. He wants more money. He wants to know everything. He'd like to get this job. I don't order it here. I order it online. I want to eat meat. I need to find a good job. I want to watch this video. I want to know English. I want to study there. My best friend doesn't smoke. We want to find a new job. I want to try to do it. I want to speak English fluently. I don't play the piano, I play the guitar. I need to write it down. I'd like to order it. You need to relax more. You need to have more rest. It doesn't cost little, it costs a lot. I want to eat fish. They need more lessons. He wants to know everything. I'd like to become a businessman. I'd like to become a businesswoman. He needs more money. I'd like to know all the news. My boss would like to know everything. I want this dress. I'd like to thank you. My friends don't listen to them. They listen to us. I want to learn English right now. I'd like to buy a computer. We need to save this file. I need to write a letter. I'd like to watch this video now. We need to translate this sentence. I want to speak English very well. I want to drink tea. I'd like to understand native speakers. I'd like to get more money, or I'd like to earn more money. I'd like to drink a cup of coffee. I need to do this thing now. I really want to thank you. I really want to learn English. I really need to translate this text. I'd like to work more to get more money or to earn more money. I don't get up late. I get up early. I want to live in another country. My relative wants to sell his flat. We'd like to order it right now. He wants to be healthy. I'd like to say it. I understand you very well. I'd like to see it. We want to learn English. She doesn't want to sell her house. She wants to sell her flat. I also want to know it. I need to study English more regularly. I want to play this computer game. I need to listen to this song. They want to thank us. My relative would like to study abroad. I want to help you. I want to have a car. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's continue this playlist for more grammar practice. Okay, thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, lesson 14. Okay, really it's a very important playlist. We focus on grammar and new words and phrases. Okay, really, how to form a question in present simple. For example, you have a job, but we ask, do you have a job? So if you want to form a question with a verb, so we use do or does. We use do with I, we, you, they. Look, for example, I show good results. And so you put do in the beginning and you have do I show good results. We have an interesting offer. So we put do in the beginning again. Do we have an interesting offer? Okay? So you know it? So do I, we, you, they plus verb. You do it professionally. Yeah, you know it's our channel English Professionally. And the question is, do you do it professionally? They often say it. You put do before the subject. Do they often say it? Okay? More examples and exercises. I know it better. Do I know it better? Okay? So, you see, do I, we, you, they plus verb. You also think so? Do you think so? We always take her. Do we always take her? You see your progress. Do you see your progress? Do they often come late? So it's very easy, yeah, actually, to make a question with do. You also need to know, how to form English phrases and sentences. Okay, pay attention to prepositions and articles. Do you want to come? Do you want to tell her this thing? Do you want to try to do it? Do you need it right now? Do you live there? Okay, and more practice with do. Look, do I, we, you, they plus verb. Do you speak English? Do you speak Spanish? Do you live in Russia? Do they know all the information? Do I do it very well? Do I show good results? Do you live together? Do we learn English effectively? Of course. Do they work there? Do you try to learn English? Do we always take her? Do you see your progress? Do they often say it? Do you want to tell her this thing? Do we have an interesting offer? Do you do it professionally? Do you know it better? Do they come late? Do they usually come late? Do they come early? Do they usually come early? Do you live there? Do you want to come? Do you need it right now? Do you think so? Do you also think so? Do you think so too? Do I make mistakes? Do they want to try to do it? Do they get $500 a month? Do they get this money? Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a car? Do you have a house? Do you have a flat? Do you have a brother or a sister? Do you have any brothers or sisters? Do you often go to the cinema? Do you often go there? Do you work or study? Do you help your parents? Or do they help you? Do they call him? Do they see her? Do you often see her? And I hope it's also okay, yeah? I mean that we have these short lessons, so it's very good, yeah? It doesn't take actually much time, yeah? It's very important too. Okay, so let's continue. Thank you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally. And we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 15. Okay, really, it's a very important playlist. And really, how to form a question in present simple. So we use do or does with the verb. If it's I, we, you, they, we use do. So do plus I, we, you, they plus verb. For example, do you understand me? Yes, I understand you, yeah? Or yes, I do. It's a short answer. If it's he, she, it, you use does. And then you use a verb, okay? So, does plus he, she, or it plus verb. Does she understand us? Does she speak English? Does he live there? Does it help you a lot? Does it seem interesting? Does it look beautiful? Does it happen from time to time? Does it interest you? Does she believe in God? Does she remember it? Does she often forget it? Does she support this idea? Does he agree with you? Does he do business? Does he often stay at home? Does he often travel? Does she feel good? Does he feel bad? Does it work? Does it really work? Does he need it urgently? Does she need your advice? Does she call him? Does she often call him? Does she often visit him? Does he often see them? Does it help you? Does it really help you? Does he go to bed early? Does she use the internet every day? Does he like orange juice? Does she like this subject? So these, that, my, your, our, and another. Yeah, you see these important words too. Okay, so does he need money now? Does she need support? Does he smoke? Does she read magazines? Does he read newspapers? Does she often fly to the United States? Does she usually sleep well? Does she sing songs? Does it seem strange? Does it seem boring? Does it look wonderful? Does he play the guitar? Does she draw well? Does he dance professionally? Okay, and more practice with does. Yeah, more words and phrases, more listening and speaking practice. Does he want to help them? Does it help you a lot? Does she often visit him? Does she remember it? Does it help him? Does he dance professionally? Does it seem strange? Does she draw well? Does she speak English? I speak English. I read in English. Does she feel good? Okay, next. Does he need all the information? Does he like these lessons? Does she know it too? Does he want to study in another place? Does it happen from time to time? Does she call him? Does he often call her? Does he want to read this book? Does it really help you? Does he often travel? Does it seem interesting? Does she like this idea? Does she live there? Does it seem boring? Does she want to call them? Does she often fly to the United States? Does she need your advice? Does he need your help? Does she teach English? Does he need money now? Does he need it urgently? Does she often call him? Does he prefer to learn English here? Does he do business? Does he listen to this music? Does she use the internet every day? Does he like those lessons? Does he play the guitar? Does she need to rent a flat? Does he need to study English more regularly? Does she like this subject? Does he feel bad? Does she try to do it? Does she need support? Does he often stay at home? Does she read magazines? Does he need to work more? Does she need to study more? Does he read newspapers? Does she understand us? Does it look beautiful? Does she want to become a teacher? Does he really like it? Does she usually sleep well? Does she often sing this song? Do you want to have your own business? Do you understand me? Yes, I understand you. Does he live there? Does it really help you and your friends? Does it work? Does he smoke? Does he play the piano? Does he live there? Does it really work? Does he agree with you? Does it look wonderful? Does it interest you? Does she often forget it? Does she need this information? Does she talk to him? So you know that we say talk to or talk with. It's like, speak to, speak with. Okay, so does he want to have a car? Does he want to get more money? Does she also know it? Does she believe in God? Does he often see them? Does he want to do it one more time? Does he go to bed early? Does she support this idea? Okay, so very good. Yeah, really, let's continue this playlist. Yeah, and we'll focus on more difficult grammar too, on new words and phrases. Okay, thank you, my friends. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero. Lesson 16, really, it's a very important playlist if you really want, if you're really serious about improving your English grammar. Okay, let's talk about present simple question. So you know that we put does or do in the beginning. So we put does before he, she, it, and do before we, you, they. But the problem is that sometimes you don't see, you don't see he, she, it, so you have another phrase. And you need to decide what to choose. You look at the subject. Look, his friend means he or she, so does. Does your friend want to continue it? Next, our rest. So what does it mean? What pronoun is it? So our rest means it. So does it include it? Does her sister often meet her? Her sister means it. So does she? Does your sister often meet her? Do their friends often pay for it? Their friends, so it's they, so do they. Do their friends often pay for it? Good. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Does this thing happen very rarely or very seldom? So this thing is it, means it. Do his parents believe in God? So his parents, do his parents believe in God? Does your cousin believe in ghosts? Your cousin, he, so does he. Does your cousin believe in ghosts? Does your boyfriend believe him? So your boyfriend, he, so does he. Does your boyfriend believe him? Good. Do your colleagues live near this place? So your colleagues, they, do your colleagues live near this place? Does your classmate run very fast? Classmate, he or she, does he? So does your classmate run very fast? Does your neighbors often hear this story? Your neighbors, they, so do they. Do your neighbors often hear this story? Do these lessons help? These lessons, they, so do they help? Do these lessons help? Does this lesson help? This lesson, it, so does this lesson help? Does this idea seem interesting? This idea means it. Does it? Does this idea seem interesting? But do these ideas seem interesting? These ideas, so it's about they. Yeah, actually it means they. So do these ideas seem interesting? Does his wife usually buy expensive things? His wife, she. Does she? Does his wife usually buy expensive things? Does her husband usually buy cheap things? Her husband, he. Does your husband usually buy cheap things? Okay, so sometimes you see there, it means these, that, these, or those. Look, don't forget to use there. Okay, look. Do the boys remember it very well? It means the boys you are talking about, but not, all the boys in the world. So if you say, do boys remember it very well, it means that you're talking about all the boys in the world. But I think that you're talking about some boys, yeah? Some boys, actually, who we know. Do the boys remember it very well? Do the girls know it perfectly? Yeah, the boys, the girls, so do they, the boys means they, the girls it means they. And does the lesson seem very long? The lesson means it, so does the lesson seem very long? And does the story seem very short? The story means it, does it. Does the story seem very short? Okay, so I prepared more interesting and useful examples, especially for you. Okay, so you can listen and repeat. Does your boyfriend believe him? Does this lesson seem very long? Does your cousin know it better? Does your father try to do it? Does your classmate run very fast? We say, he runs fast. I want to learn English fast. Does the story seem very short? Does this thing happen rarely or seldom? Do your parents try to learn English? Does his friend want to continue it? Does your brother use the internet every day? Does it interest you? Does this thing interest you? Do these things interest you? Do your colleagues get $500 a month? Does this boy show a good result? Do these ideas seem interesting? Does the teacher want to tell us all the news? Does his sister often meet him? Do their friends often pay for it? Do your neighbors often hear the story? Does your cousin believe in ghosts? Do his students feel progress? Does his husband usually buy cheap things? Do these things interest you? Do his parents believe in God? Do these boys show good results? Does this boy often make mistakes? Does this idea seem very interesting? Does your mother work or stay at home? Do your colleagues live near this place? Does his wife usually buy expensive things? Do the boys remember it very well? Does your teacher also think so? Does your boss know all the information? Do your parents think so too? Does your teacher agree with it? Does this lesson help? Do the girls know it perfectly? Do her parents always take her? Do these lessons help? Does that thing seem interesting? Does our rest include it? Does his student learn English effectively? Okay, very good. So as you see, this playlist is very important. So you know that you'll see lots of practice in this playlist, and it's a very good idea, to watch these videos or to listen to them when you do other things. Yeah, it's the first thing. And the second thing is that you can make up your own sentences for more practice, so it can help you a lot with fluency and grammar in general. So I think that you'll support this idea, and we'll go on recording this very important playlist. Yeah. So, and you'll see more and more difficult, topics, examples, and so on. Okay, so really, let's continue. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue this playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 17. Really, it's a very important grammar if you're really serious about improving it a lot, okay? And let's revise everything, okay? For example, look at this sentence. He wants to be a businessman. So don't forget that we put s after a verb if it's he, she, it. He wants to be a businessman. If it's a negative form, we use don't or doesn't with a verb. Look, he doesn't want to be a businessman. And if you want to form a question, you use it with does. Does he want to be a businessman? Okay, look. They have their own business. How will you make a negative form? So you put don't before have. Because of they don't. They don't have their own business. And if you want to ask a question, you will ask it with do. Do they? Do they have their own business? You know, this exercise is very useful. So you can, choose one sentence, and then you can make a negative form, and you can also ask a question. If it's very important, if you want to do it, very quickly and almost automatically. Why almost? Not almost, really, automatically, without any pauses, breaks or intervals, very quickly, almost immediately. Okay, so let's have more practice. My brother waits for it. So my brother means he. That's why we need to say waits, wait for. My brother waits for it. My brother doesn't wait for it. And does my brother wait for it? My sister loves him. So she loves he, she, it. If we have he, she, it, we add s. My sister loves him. Okay, so you also need to remember when we use him, his, and so on, okay? So my sister doesn't love him. So doesn't, and so we use does in questions. Does my sister love him? Okay, so there are some more tips for you. Look, my teacher remembers everything. So if it's one word, we normally say everything. If you have something more, for example, you have a noun or a phrase, we use all these things, all these facts, all the information. For example, my teacher remembers all these facts, or all the facts, all the information. It's a very important rule, okay? My teacher doesn't remember everything. So doesn't, because my teacher means he or she. And does my teacher remember everything? Good. My boss forgets these things as. And doesn't in a negative form. My boss doesn't forget these things? Does my boss forget these things? So you see, it's a question. So we need to use does, because my boss means he. Okay, next. The company offers us new workers. The company means it, so we add s. The company offers us new workers. Negative form. The company doesn't offer us new workers. And does the company offer us new workers? So you see, so if you look at the statement, so you need to remember, so when we use as and when we don't use as, if you look at this negative form, so you start, thinking about don't or doesn't, when to use it. And so if you are going to ask a question, so you need to choose between do and does, okay? Well, so the book seems very useful. The book doesn't seem very useful. Does the book seem very useful? Okay, next, my ticket includes it. So my ticket means it, so includes. My ticket includes it. My ticket doesn't include it. And does my ticket include it? The lesson starts very early. So you know that you can say start or begin. Begin sounds more formal. So the lesson starts very early. Start because the lessons mean, it means they. The lessons, so it's they start, so the lessons start very early. The lessons don't start very early. And the question, do the lessons start very early? Okay, really, it's a good idea. For example, you can, make up your own sentence, you can write it and then try to make a negative form and try to ask a question. Or you can take this or that sentence maybe from your book or from somewhere else. So it's a good practice. Okay, so I have prepared, more exercises, especially for you, so that you can understand how it really works. And believe me, this method is really effective, to speak English correctly and automatically. Good. Okay, so this result seems very good. This result doesn't seem very good. Does this result seem very good? These results seem very good. So you see, this result means it, so that's why we add s. These results, it means they, that's why we don't use s. We don't add s. These results seem very good. These results don't seem very good. Do these results seem very good? The results seem very good. Don't forget to use, this article. So if you say results seem very good, so, it's so abstract. So it means all the results in the world, but I'm sure you're talking about these results, or the results which you know. So the results seem good. The results don't seem good. Do the results seem good? So you see the results, so it's plural. It means they, so no s, but if it's the result, one, if it's one singular, we add s. So if it's it, we add s, it means it. The result seems good. The result doesn't seem good. Does the result seem good? My friend has an interesting offer. My friend doesn't have an interesting offer. Does my friend have an interesting offer? So my friend, he or she, that's why we see has. Good. My friends have an interesting offer. So it was my friend, one, and my friends, so many, more than one, maybe two, three, who knows. Yeah, so it means they. They have. My friends have an interesting offer. My friends don't have an interesting offer. Do my friends have an interesting offer? My teacher says it. So my teacher, he or she. That's why we add s. My teacher says it. My teacher doesn't say it. Does my teacher say it? His parents tell him everything. His parents don't tell him everything. Do his parents tell him everything? My brother tries to learn English. My brother doesn't try to learn English. Does my brother try to learn English? That thing interests them. So that thing means it. So that's why we see as. That thing interests them. That thing doesn't interest them. Does that thing interest them? Those things interest her. Those things don't interest her. Do those things interest her? Okay, good. So it's number 11. Her mother stays at home. Her mother means she, so her mother stays at home. Her mother doesn't stay at home. Does her mother stay at home? My best friend needs support now. He or she. That's why we use as. My best friend needs support now. My best friend doesn't need support now. Does my best friend need support now? Okay, and two more examples. Or three more examples, yeah? So just we need to correct these numbers because, you know, it happened by mistake. I'm terribly sorry indeed. Okay, but anyway, we need to go ahead. So he has his own business. He doesn't have his own business. Does he have his own business? You know that actually we are learning English grammar, but we are also learning English words and phrases, and you'll see more and more new interesting phrases, and you know this phrase is one of these great or amazing phrases. So have for example, have own business. I have my own business. You have your own business. Yeah, just remember it. Our rest includes it. Our rest means it, so our rest includes it. Our rest doesn't include it. Does our rest include it? This house looks very expensive. So this house means it. This house doesn't look very expensive. Does this house look very expensive? Okay, so to sum up, so you need to know how to ask, you know, a question in present simple, but not only in question, how to make a negative form, and how to say everything you want to say in present simple. And this kind of exercise, you know, it's very useful, extremely useful. So I think it's a good idea, I mean, to have this kind of practice. But we need to go on, yeah, learning English, and we need to go on improving our grammar. And really, let's look at the next lesson. Thank you. Yeah, and so you see that our playlist, you know, it just was maybe just one video in the beginning, but then there were more and more, and it's growing because you asked me actually to continue recording this video, and I decided to follow your advice, so it's great, thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 18. Really, it's a very important playlist, so Actually, we look at different aspects on English grammar, and actually these lessons will be more and more difficult, and they will be advanced too. Okay, so how will you ask a question in present simple? So generally, we have this structure. So a question word, for example, when, where, why, how, what, plus do or does, plus subject. So it's a general scheme, really. Look, when do, I, we, you, they, so there is a question word, then do or does, and then you have a subject. So if you have I, we, you, they, you need do, and if you have he, she, it, you need does. Look at these examples. When do you do it? When do you watch English movies? So we have do because of you. When do you learn English? When do you go to school? When does she see him? When do they see her? When does it happen? When does he come? Okay, so we had examples with when. Let's look at why. So we have the same thing, the same situation. So do or does. Why do I, we, you, they? Why does he, she, it? Why do you learn English? Why do you support him? Why do you teach English? Why do you do it? Why does it happen? Why does it seem interesting? Why does it seem boring? Why does it interest you? Why do you think so? Okay, so let's look at some examples with what. Okay, so you have what, do or does, and then you have a subject. Look, what do I, we, you, they? What does he, she, it? What do you think about it? What do you sell? What do you buy there? What do you teach? What do you mean? What do you want to say? What does it mean? What do you need? What does she need? What does he need? What do you want? Okay, and then we have different questions with how. Okay, how, do or does, how do I, we, you, they, how does he, she, it. So, how do you do it? How do you explain it? How do they speak? How do they understand it? How do you pay? How do you feel? How does she feel? How do you get to work? How do you get to school? How does she study? How does he feel? Okay, so we have different examples, especially for you. Yeah, so you know that we have lots of examples with when, then with why, what, and how. And so you'll see a mixture. So when, how, where, so whatever. So I think it's very effective, really. Okay, so I think that you remember how we ask a question. So we ask it this way. So first you have a question word. So for example, when, where, why, how, what, then do or does, and then you have a subject. Okay? Are you ready? So you can listen and repeat. So these questions are very common. When do you go to work? How does he explain it? Where do they live? Where does it happen? What do you think about it? How does he work? What does she remember? What do you buy there? What does she have? What do you see? How does he sell this product? How do they sell these things? What do they do? What does she say? How does she spend her free time? How do you spend your free time? What do you usually eat for breakfast? What do you teach? When does it start? When does it begin? How does she speak English? Why does he try to do it? What does he need? How does he get money? When does it usually happen? Why does he do it? Why do you believe him? Why do you learn English? What do they offer? Why does he teach English? Where do you work? Why does it seem boring? What do they sell there? How does it seem to you? We say, it seems to me. When do they see her? Where do they see her? When does she see him? Why does it happen so often? What do you want to say? When do you do it? Why do you support them? Why does she support him? What do they sell online? When do you watch English movies? Why does it seem interesting to you? Where do you study? What does she know about this thing? How do you use it? Why do you agree? Where does he go? What does it mean? What do you mean? How does she do it? Why do you do it? Why does she tell him about it? Or why does she tell him about that? When does he come home? Where do they do it? What does she need? How does he say it? When do you learn English? Why do you think so? What do you need? Why does it interest you? Where does he run? Where does he play this game? Why Does it seem strange? Okay, so I think it's a very good practice, very good English grammar and speaking practice, and this playlist is very important. So let's continue and let's learn new words, phrases, grammar rules and structures. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 19. Okay, so really this playlist is extremely important for all of us. Okay, really, let's talk about one very important thing. How to form a special question in present simple. So, generally, first you need to use a question word. For example, when, where, why, how, what. Then use do or does. Then you have a subject and a verb. Yeah, so you form actually a question this way if you have a verb. For example, where does she live? So does, we have does because of she. Where does she live? Where does your sister live? Your sister means she. That's why we use does. Where does your sister live? When do these lessons start? These lessons, yeah, it means they, so we have do. When do these lessons start? When do they start? What does your brother do at work? Your brother means he. What does he? So we say, what does your brother do at work? What do your parents know? So your parents, they. Where does your father work? Your father, he. Where does your boss learn English? So boss, he or she. How does his girlfriend look like? His girlfriend, she. So does. How does his girlfriend look like? Good. When does your boyfriend find time for it? Your boyfriend, he. What does your grandmother grow in her garden? She. When does this lesson usually start? It. When does that lesson usually finish? It. When did the lesson start? They. We say do they. When do lessons start? And when do the lessons finish? When do they finish? What does your wife cook? She. What does your wife usually cook? She. What does your husband usually eat? He. Where do your children study? They. Where does your son study? He. Where does your daughter study? She. What do your suppliers produce? They. What do your partners think about this situation? Your partners? They. Okay, so you see that it's much more difficult to choose between do or does when you don't have a pronoun and you need to understand what pronoun it is. Yeah, just keep in mind this rule anyway. Okay, so good. So what do your clients usually answer? Or what do your clients usually reply? They. What does this ticket include? It. How does the company work? The company means it, so we say how does it work or how does the company work? Why does your best friend hate it? So your best friend, he or she. How does your sister swim? She. What does your boss promise? He. Okay. When do the exams start? The exams they, yeah? So you're talking about the exams you know, but not about all the exams in the world. So that's why you need to use that. When do the exams start? Why does your friend think differently? Or why does your friend think another way? Your friend, he or she. So we use does he, does she. Where does your son want to study? Your son means he. How does she find time for everything? And why do they refuse to do it? Yeah, just you know that we usually put to between two verbs. Refuse to do it. Why do they refuse to do it? Okay, you know that I think you know these rules, and I prepared more, sentences, more examples, especially for you for more English grammar and speaking practice, so you can listen and repeat. Okay, how do the students prefer to learn English? How does your sister dance? When does this lesson usually start? Or when does this lesson usually begin? Why do you use the internet so often? What does your mother teach? How does your teacher explain it? Why do those things seem so bad? What do all these things mean? When does your friend usually listen to music? What does your boss need? When do the lessons start? Where does your classmate live? Why does that thing seem bad? Where does your neighbor work? How does your brother play the guitar? Where does your brother study English? Why do your parents watch TV so late? Or television, yeah, why do parents watch television so late? But we normally say watch TV, so it's okay to say why do parents watch TV so late? Why does your boss think so? How does the company work? How does his girlfriend look like? What does your grandmother grow in her garden? Why does your husband need it urgently? How does your sister swim? Why do these problems interest you? What does your boss promise? How does your sister do it? Why does your aunt rent a flat? What does this word mean? When do your parents come home? How do your teachers explain it? Where does your teacher write these words? What does this ticket include? When does your boyfriend find time for it? Where does your son study? When does that lesson usually finish? Why does your best friend hate it? How does your friend spend his free time? What does your brother do at work? How does she find time for everything? How does your brother find time for all these things? What do your parents know? How often does your friend use the internet? How do your friends pay for it? When do the exams start? Where does your father work? When do the lessons finish? Why do these things seem interesting? Why do those things seem boring? What do your clients usually answer? Or what do your clients usually reply? Why do they refuse to do it? Why does your friend think differently? Or why does your friend think another way? Why does this idea seem strange? Why does your best friend support them? Where does his wife work? Where does their daughter study? Why does the student need to learn English? Okay, my friends, thanks a lot. So really, let's continue this very important playlist. Thank you. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and we continue our playlist English Grammar from Zero, Lesson 20. Really, it's a very important playlist, yeah. We've studied a lot, and I think it's also a good idea to revise everything so you can listen, to these videos when you do other things too. It's a good idea. And really, let's revise everything. Let's try to remember what we studied. Really, how do we form present simple? So, if there is a verb, we use it with do or does. So, we use do with I, we, you, they, and does with he, she, it, plus verb. For example, do you find it interesting? So, we have you, so we use do. Do you find it interesting? Does she find it boring? So, we have she, so we use does. Does she? Does she find it boring? Yeah, so the problem is that sometimes you don't have a pronoun, you have maybe a noun or a phrase, and you need to understand what pronoun it is. For example, do your parents find it strange? So you need to understand what it means. So your parents, yeah, it means they. We say do they, and that's why we say do your parents find it strange. Does your friend consider it a waste of time? So your friend, he or she, we say does he, does she. So does your friend consider it a waste of time? Yeah, how to ask a special question. So you put a question word in the beginning. For example, when, where, why, how, what. Then you have do or does, plus subject plus verb. Why does he complain? So you see, why is a question word, does, because of he, and you have a verb, complain. Why does he complain? So what do they buy? Or what do they usually buy? What does your girlfriend usually cook? So it's the same story. You just need to understand that your girlfriend means she. So we say does she, what does she, what does your girlfriend usually cook? When does your teacher check it? So your teacher, he or she, so have does. When does your teacher check it? How do their parents control it? Their parents, it's they. So how do they control it? How do their parents control it? Okay? Also try to remember different phrases. For example, we say run fast, he runs fast, or you can say I want to speak English fast and naturally, really, or I want to learn English really fast. Yeah, it's a good idea. And some more interesting examples. So you see, when do the exams finish? You also need to remember that you need to use some articles, sometimes there, or maybe no articles at all. So, but if you say when the exams finish, so you are talking about, all the exams in the world, but it's impossible. You are talking about the exams, yeah, just maybe a group of exams, some exams, so only that. When do the exams finish? Okay, you need more practice, and actually, this playlist is full of practice. You'll see interesting words, phrases, sentences. Just listen to it and try to understand, and I think it's also a good idea to use these structures, phrases in your speech too. Okay, so does your boyfriend want to buy a new car? So a new car. So we say an adjective, we have an adjective and a noun. New is an adjective and car is a noun. And normally, so if it's one car singular, we put an article. So an article, a or an adjective and a noun, a new car. Okay, does she run fast? What they usually have for breakfast? Yeah, we say for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Do you have your own business? Your own business, or business which belongs to you. Okay, very good. So what is next? Okay, my partner doesn't have an interesting offer. So it's the same story. An article plus, so an adjective plus a noun. An interesting offer. So you can say I don't have a car. So don't or doesn't have. Or you know that there is this structure too. Haven't or hasn't got. It's okay too. I haven't got a car. And you know that we use hasn't with he, she, it. He hasn't got a car, she hasn't got a car. Okay, does she get $300 a month? So a month, a year, and so on. Okay, and some more important phrases. Let's focus on prepositions, okay? So I go to work. We say go to work. I work very hard, means a lot. I have a job. Say I have a job. I like my job. I have good colleagues. We work together very well. I have different hobbies. I like English. I learn English online on the channel English Galaxy, or if we're talking about our international channel, it's called English Professionally. I learn English online on the channel English Professionally. And I think that you prefer to learn English effectively. Okay, good. And some more questions and examples, yeah? Where do they study? Do you have a job? Do you have good friends? So when you listen to it, try to understand, first of all, two things. The first thing is you understand it or not. Yeah, and the second thing is that you understand how to build these sentences. Okay? Where does your friend work? Where does your friend study? How does he spend his free time? How does she prefer to learn English? Why does she learn Spanish? Okay, I have different examples for you, so you can listen and repeat. Where do you study? Does he smoke? When do the lessons finish? Does he want to have a car? He runs fast. I want to learn English fast. Why does he teach English? Where does she play this game? Does he want to read this book? Do you have a girlfriend? Why do these problems interest you? When does that lesson usually finish? What do all these things mean? What do you usually eat for breakfast? This result seems very good. Why does it seem to you? How does she do it? Does she really like it? Where do you buy it? What does she have? How do you use it? Why do those things seem boring? This house doesn't look expensive. Do you need it right now? Does he have his own business? Do these things interest you? This result doesn't seem very good. Does he play the guitar? Does she call him? Do I show good results? Does he need to learn English more regularly? Does she remember it? How do they sell these things? What do you see? When does it start? Or when does it begin? Does he like those lessons? How do your friends pay for it? Your mother usually stays at home. Does his wife usually buy expensive things? Does he want to help them? Do you know it better? My friends don't have any interesting offer. Does she listen to this music? Does she support this idea? Why do these things seem interesting? Does she need support? What do you teach? Why does she support him? Do his parents tell him everything? Do they come home early? Does he dance professionally? Does that thing interest them? Does she need to study more? Does my best friend need my support now? When do you learn English? Do you think so too? Do you also think so? Do they get $500 a month? Does he want to study in another place? Do you have a car? Does your cousin believe in ghosts? Do you speak Spanish? When do you go to work? Do you live in Russia? Do your colleagues get $500 a month? Does he often call her? Why does your husband need it urgently? Do these lessons really help? Does this idea seem interesting? My best friend doesn't need support now. Do your parents always take her? My brother doesn't try to learn English. Does it look beautiful? Where does your teacher write these words? Does she often sing this song? Where does your classmate live? Do you want to come? How does your sister do it? Do you speak English? This result doesn't seem good. Does the teacher want to tell us all the news? How does he sell this product? Do you usually come early? Why do you do it? Do they always take her? Where does he run? Do you live there? Does she feel good? What does this ticket include? Do they call him? Does he agree with you? He doesn't have his own business. Do his students feel progress? I think differently, or I think another way. Where does your brother study? These results seem good. Do your parents also think so? Do your parents think so too? How does she find time for everything? How often does your friend use the internet? Why does your boss think so? Does it look wonderful? Do his parents believe in God? Do you like these lessons? Does your teacher like these lessons? Does your brother try to learn English? Does your boss know all the information? What does she say? Does your boyfriend believe him? Do your parents want to learn English? Does this thing interest you? Do you often go to the cinema? Where do they do it? Does she often call him? Do your neighbors know this story? Does he often travel? How do they get this money? What does this word mean? Does his friend want to continue? Does he need to work more? Okay, really, this playlist is extremely important, yeah? So, actually, it's about the most important grammar in English. So, most important and then different aspects of English grammar. So, more and more advanced grammar and grammar structures. So, that's great. Thank you very much. And so, really, let's continue. Thanks a lot. Thank you.